So yes, you're in Brooklyn. So again, this will air well after. You're at Comic-Con this weekend. You going there? Or you're doing
Next 2 weeks from now.
I'm getting so many emails that I'm not going. So, so for me, it could be happening.
I originally was thinking of not going because I didn't get an artist alley table. I could not get a pro badge. So I'm like, do I really want to go? And I'm like, yeah, I should just a network. And so I bought so we're just going to just go do the queue. And then my friend Mars, hey, I got a 4-day badge, but I can't go now.
Oh, no.
I guess you got it for the VIP sale. Do you want the badge? I'm like, yeah. And we did the transfer and everything. And I paid her market value. It was, and then of course, now she's working. She's now just going to be there, but she's helping people at their booth. I'm going to be fun. I got a 4-day badge. I'm only going Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I might be helping out at Global Comics either Saturday and or Sunday.
Oh, nice. Oh, so do you do a lot with Global Comics?
I need to do more with them. I do have Night Raft issue 1 up there. I need to put Working Night 1 up there. And of course, Bandit Bars is American Dreams.
Yeah. That's right.
They're Global Comics.
Yeah, I know they put everything on there. It's a great service. As a reader. I'm still, it's wait and see. At least when I feel like you need a library to really take advantage of the service otherwise, because, the payouts are what they are. It's like KU or any of that stuff. It's by volume. So if you don't have volume, it doesn't pay out. It's not the theater.
I feel like a Night Raft reader like every week or so. Looks like one.
Yeah, and but again, it's just if you had a library, I'm sure Image and Dark Horse and all these Dark Horse on there, those guys are all making money because you go on there, you read 10 books. Well, they're getting how many pages worth of reads, right? You've just read 400 pages, so that pays out. When I put my 24-page comic on there, thank you for reading the whole thing. I get a quarter.
At best.
Hey, I have to interrupt.
Go for it.
So, what do you think? What do you think so far?
Right.
No notes.
Awesome. No notes. Okay.
I love the expression on the third panel there. In the space on the second panel. The third one's the hairdo is what really. Yeah.
Maybe I should make more startle expression on the third one.
No,
right?
I don't know, Daniel. What do you think? I think it's okay, but
yeah,
I don't really want to go too cartoony. I think that's enough. I feel like this guy that you drew doesn't move very fast. So
the what? Sorry.
Even if he's startled, it's going to be like the most underwhelming startle.
Okay.
I think that sells it more than you're giving it credit for. That he's the
okay.
Okay, cool.
Oh man.
Okay.
But yeah, I was in San Diego this year, so I went to the Global Comics Mixer. That was pretty good. I met Mick Byers, who introduced me to like the White Ash crew. I was there alone, being a weird lonely guy, just sitting at my table, and so he like was kind enough to come sit with me. Be like, hey, lonely guy, come hang out. It was the whole White Ash crew, so it was like Charlie Stickney and all those guys.
They're trying.
Right, so yeah, that was cool. I was like 100% a tag along, getting odd looks most of the night, but it was very nice of Mick to grab me and say, come with me. So that's
I'm not a party person. I did BarCon at Baltimore. And thankfully I was staying in the same hotel that I was having because it's 12:30 was longer. I'm like, guys, I'm wiped. It's a long day. I'm going to bed.
right.
Then just hop on the elevator. My room was right off the elevator. I'm like, passing out.
And it was the same time zone. What's your excuse?
My problem is I tend to be like very early to bed, early to rise.
I missed that
on most days.
That's good.
So
that's a better way to be.
It's your habit. So 12:30 in the morning, I'm like, I just can't. My energy is like dying.
I hear you. Yeah, and it's hard because that's where you can meet a lot of folk and build a lot of trips and stuff.
Yeah, like Jim Lee was like literally walking like to his hotel room. I asked him for something. Yeah, sure. He knows me from his Twitch streams and everything.
Yeah.
And I talked to Tom King. I talked to Jimmy Palmiotti. Nice. Sure. I was like, I was giving a bunch of people from Unity Comics, and it was a fun night. But after a while, I was like, it's too much.
Yeah, that's fair. Cons in general are like just exhausting.
Yeah.
Like even, have you tabled at any recently? I think you said you
did Baltimore.
You did Baltimore. Oh my God, I'm not paying attention. Yeah. Yeah, you did Baltimore. Yeah, I find even just sitting there all day, you're not even doing that much. And by the end of the day, it's like you've been like shoveling rocks. Like it's, I don't know.
Yeah, like I had a great helper. Oh, it's Tasha Kaplan. Tasha Kaplan helped, and her friend Rachel helped me at my table at Baltimore today. And she's very good. She's better pulling people than I am. Like, I'm very quiet. I'm an extroverted introvert. So after a while, my energy level goes
Yes.
boom.
Yeah, I feel you there.
They get the whole. I'm not good at being a barker or anything. It's also considered bad for it to be a barker. And Sasha's better pulling people to the table, so I can just focus, sign my name, make the money, put in the entry, sales entry into my,
That's a good deal. Yeah.
and it's so I can keep so this. But she and her friend helped me get all my stuff back to my hotel room on the Sunday of the con. I go to use the bathroom. We originally were supposed to plan to go to dinner. I come out. Sasha just flopped on the other bed. Hey, I got a room with two beds. Flopped on the one I was in. Usually, she and Rachel were like, "Yeah, we're going back to our going home. We can't do dinner. We're exhausted too." Like,
That's fair. Yeah.
cons are
They really,
exhausting. And I'm like, I'm not even going to go out to eat. I'm going to have the food come to me.
that far.
That level crazy.
Are you smart about packing things for the table though? Because like my last con, I totally forgot. I was my neighbor was very kind to share some snacks with me, but I totally didn't consider eating, which is silly.
I usually have someone watch my table, either my table neighbor or I have someone at my table, and I will run and grab food for me and them. And it helps, but like I need to grab more snacks. But I usually have I consider the food that I have still my setup in my living room right now. I have my racks, I have my my supply suitcase of mostly of my usual supplies and my tablecloths and things like that. Business cards and pens. I have pens in my lockbox. I have also where I keep my square reader, and it's a lot.
Yeah. Sounds like you're well prepared.
And because we basically have a car, we don't have a van, we have a car, and I'm usually not the one driving because I don't. My dad knows, but I don't, so I need to learn how to drive to make things easier for everyone. But I'm usually usually in the back seat. I'm filling the trunk. We have to fill the back seat, and I'm doing what little room I have left.
Yeah, that can see how that could get crowded.
Thankfully, the next con I'll be tabling at is also here in New York, so I can have a little more room. A little bit, because I wouldn't need a suitcase of clothes and what.
Yeah, it's always nice when you could just go home. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 1-day con. It's Juice. It's the Jewish Comics Experience. You put on at the Center for Jewish History. This is going to be its second year, and I did the first year as well. I'm also hoping to get nominated for a Juice Award because that'd be nice for American Dreams.
So how does that how do you do at those shows? Do you find that they overperform, underperform, same as everywhere else?
It depends on the show. I know how active I'm being. For example, last year's Baltimore was probably one of my worst shows.
Oh yeah.
No one's buying. My energy was flagged after a while, and this year not only was my best Baltimore, my best con ever. I put a lot into that. I had the trade finally of American Dreams as well as several anthologies. I also had Sasha in my corner bringing people in. So I was a TriffCon this year, and I was still a little short, but it could have been worse. But it's also been a weird year for conventions.
I can vouch for that. Yes, it's
and last year before was a weird year for conventions.
Yeah,
I think it's more that after years of a lot of success, we were all out of conventions, we're all like a trough.
Yeah, have you found that? So I'm finding that it's not even so much that people aren't like spending. I'm finding they're just not as busy as they've been. Like it says the attend, like every show we've done and been to, it's we're sold out. However many thousands of people are here, and it's a ghost town. Like I'm not seeing any people walking by the table.
Richard Fairgrill was diagonally across from me in the Isle of Baltimore. And he had 3 things of bags full of books he had brought. And he goes up to me on Friday. Friday was very slow. Last year I made X amount of money, and this year I don't know if we're going to match that because it's been so slow. But I think we all caught up by Saturday, thankfully. And Sunday helped. Yeah. But that Friday was ghostly.
Yeah, I don't know. We've had bad luck. So Roberto and I have done a couple of shows, not together, but on the same show. And it's been like we did Niagara, and the Friday was a ghost town. Like
Yeah, I remember you saying that
There
in
you
your
go. Yeah.
Substack.
Thank you for reading. I appreciate that. Yeah, and then same thing. So Hamilton, Saturday was great. Sunday, Ghost Town. So it's almost like people are picking the day to go, and then that's it. So it's like these shows need to
Yeah.
I don't know if they need to scale back or what. And then if they scale back, is it worth it for them to do the show anymore? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, 'cause I did their sister show in Buffalo
yeah, Nickel
last
City.
year.
Yeah,
City. It was
same, eh? Yeah,
yeah, and it's weird because it's also a very celebrity and tchotchke focused show. So our size was just in the back. It was a much smaller presence. I was like one of 3 or 4
yeah,
comics.
that's fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how. So with the last show we did in Hamilton, it was the same thing, but all the celebrities were on another floor entirely. So it was just like,
Yeah, so Baltimore Comic Con's a very comic book
yeah,
focused
yeah,
show. All the big names. There's some celebrities, but they're in the very, very back. You have to go through all the way through Artist Alley to
sure,
get
sure.
there. It's not that many. It's 4 or 5 tops. Jim Lee, he has to have a whole separate area in another part of the convention center for him because otherwise the line will be just 2 of
Yeah.
a seat. And then at Terrificon, it goes like all the big vendors and everything. Then regular Artist Alley. Then all the big creators are Artist Alley. And then you have the big celebrities in the back.
Yeah, that sounds like how they did San Diego, where there's tiers of independent, which was strange to me. I hadn't seen that elsewhere. And I guess there's some benefits to that you're like the people that are there to see you, like they're in the small publisher area because they want small published books. But also I want the people that are walking by to go see whomever to walk by my table on their way. And maybe I can catch their eye or convince them to come take a look. But if they're at the other end of the building, I don't even get that traffic, right? So it's a tough one. But
Yeah.
I'm sure San Diego just gets so much like volume. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like San Diego and New York Comic Con are always vying for the biggest show of the year. And so at New York Comic Con, they have the main floor on the biggest area of the Dive Center, and then you have Artist Alley in the basement and another like a whole bay of the basement is just Artist Alley. But you have sort of demotion in a way
because you're removed from the show.
Basement.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's where they can fit it, unfortunately, because they took what used to be where Artist Alley was, and they turned it into a whole bulldozed it and turned it into a whole different kind of pavilion.
Yeah,
so that doesn't work anymore.
The way they do it here, so Toronto, our big show is the Fan Expo Canada. And that one's, it does like the same numbers like San Diego attendance wise, but it's split into 2 buildings. But the 2 buildings are done a little more logically. So there's the celebs and the tattoos and the cosplay, not even cosplay, like all that kind of stuff, swords, things like that.
Yeah.
All in one building. And then the other building is video games and comics. So your comic vendors are next to Artist Alley, right? The big time artists are along the wall. So you have to walk through the Artist Alley aisles to get to the bigger artists. So the traffic follows some logic that at least someone's going to walk by your table. Where I've been to a couple now where it's like that thought isn't put into it of let's lead you past the guys who really need the money when you're trying to go get your autograph from Scott Snyder, remember?
Yeah. Yes.
Scott Snyder did come to Fan Expo, and similar to what you said about Jim Lee, like he needed his own section. They put him in the corner, and his line went like all the way across the back wall of the convention center, and he was only
him and Greg Capullo are terrific.
Yeah.
And so their area is like they're really in the corner, so they can just do the best like a zigzag like this. And Scott knows me for all these signings and cons, so he's like, "Hey Daniel, it's Scott," but like we're going to talk more, but I was really respect my table after a bathroom break. So I'm like, I can't stop to talk. All right. I'll see him in New York.
Right on.
It's always been nice to me.
That's good. Are you part of the Substack Black Jacket Club or whatever? Or
I am, but I'm not that really high tier. That's the classes I tend to watch on delay because it's 9:30 at night. I'm usually exhausted. And
I also like to watch it at times too because I'm a fiend. I want to consume that content as quick as possible. But even if people want to do that with this, I don't mind. Go times 2. Go for it. But so that's me. Usually I'll wait. It sucks because you don't get to join in on the question period there, like the Q&A and that. But I don't know. I usually don't have good questions, to be fair. So I'm not hurt by that. But it's been a good experience. I am a part of that second tier thing. I did that. It's great. So that was part of why I ended up in San Diego. We do that like breakfast thing. So I got to meet some folks that we talk to online all the time and that. So that's pretty.
I would love to be that big tier, but I just can't afford it.
Yeah, it's a choice.
If somebody goes to create comics,
Priorities.
yeah.
Yeah. No, for me, the thing that was invaluable is you get these 5-minute, very like when you can find a spot in his calendar, you get these little 5-minute sessions with him, with Scott, and he'll review some of your work. So I had like a piece for an anthology that he like, it was just 5 minutes, but the advice he gave me on it, like completely changed the perspective of it. It made it like such a better piece. It was just one of those things that's, oh my goodness. Yeah. You made it worth it just for that one piece of advice. So yeah, very happy with it. Very happy with it.
It's funny because I think I was wrapping up Night Wrath. He was doing like, oh, I forgot what I know this was before he was doing the Substack. I was like, hey, you can pay money during COVID, 5-minute talk with Scott and Greg. And he actually hinted, oh, I have this, I'm doing a Kickstarter. So you're like, oh, cool. And they launched like the next day.
Yeah.
That was for Noctera.
That's pretty funny. That's right. That was on Kickstarter. Yeah. I totally forgot about that.
The issue 1.
Yeah, I remember it because one of people complaining at the time, and they're like, "That's not what Kickstarter's for." How do you come about that? Like, how do you feel about these like big IDW omnibus things on Kickstarter?
I have mixed feelings. Like, it was like a solo creator doing their own indie book, and it mitigates some of the risks. That makes a lot of sense, but it's like an established property. That's when it gets a little wonky, but I won't lie, to do contribute to those Kickstarters. But
you still,
I think it's because you want the stuff too. Like I did the Klaus omnibus.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
And I'm doing the Bad Cave Cats one because I never read Battle Cat, so figured get a nice deluxe tome. But what are they doing for G.I. Joe?
Yeah, like they're just taking this property and like, or even what was the other big Berserker with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah. And it's going to have a anyway, but it like I understand it's also mitigating their potential profit loss.
Yeah. It's a pre-order, right? Like they know this money's coming and they haven't made anything yet. Yeah. Makes sense.
So it just, I'd probably complain less, and I think a lot of others would complain less if they would do something to get back to the Kickstarter community and say, "Well, check out these smaller indie books that kind of match our vibe for this big project."
Yeah.
I think if they did that more, they'd be less complaining. Because I know when Archie was doing it for their originally planned their relaunch, they were doing it on Kickstarter. At that time, everyone went, "No." It was like a car hitting a brick wall.
Yeah, I have thoughts. But I think
I find is Archie has gone done that Kevin Keller omnibus on Kickstarter since.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, my thought about it. So one of the biggest barriers to getting people to back the book is some people just don't know what Kickstarter is. Right?
Yeah.
I want Kickstarter. Oh, like they think it's GoFundMe, like you're just begging for money. It's a pre-order service. Like they don't want you to say that.
Yeah, I was trying to explain it to my aunt.
Yeah.
This past week, and she's okay. So send you a check. I'm like, no, you can't just send me a check, and it won't count towards the total.
Exactly. Like that whole concept of I have to hit a goal. It's can't I just buy from you? It's like, yes, but that doesn't help me in the way you think it does. Right. So yeah, so I feel like at least if they're doing that work, doing that, explaining to the masses how this whole platform functions, then at least they've done that. And now they're here and they already have a Kickstarter account. And then they're just, hey, I'm also on there. You want to throw me a $5 for my book? And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's, again, in theory. I don't know if it's making any difference, but at least to make peace with it, I want to imagine that's what's happening. Like, all these people who love G.I. Joe might take a chance on an indie book. Probably not, based on just how things work. But that's what I want to believe. The other way to think of it is those people, if they won't take a chance on your indie book and they already have the Kickstarter account, they're probably never going to do it. So it doesn't matter. You're never your customer, right?
Yeah, but Kickstarter, now you have that whole advanced analytics you can look at.
Yeah, I wish they would clean it up a bit in terms of just like how it fits on a screen. Right? Yeah, I like, give me data. I love the data. Right? So yeah, I do the advanced analytics. So do you use BackerKit as well?
Yeah, I use it for fulfillment. At least I have in the past.
Right on.
So.
Yeah. And you get a bit of data out of that as well. So I think between that and then Kicktrack is the other one. I'm constantly refreshing Kicktrack.
Yeah.
It's good. It gives you a sense of where you've landed, what your trajectory is. So
yeah. So I'm actually looking at the Advanced Analytics now for Sherlock Holmes: The Phantom Masquerade. And most of my backers are coming from directly from Kickstarter.
Yeah, so it's like the internal system that's feeding you, which is good. That's what we want, right? Like we want these people with accounts to go up.
Yeah, it's because I used to get a lot more from Facebook and Twitter, and that ain't happening anymore.
Yeah, and what's weird, Twitter's still outperforming. Like it seems to be outperforming Facebook more than ever, even though Twitter's like a cesspool.
Yeah.
And like I'm happy to get off that as soon as everybody decides which one we're all going to. But now it looks like we're undecided, and it's hard to be everywhere.
Yeah, but according to my backers by engagement level, most of my backers are what they call power backers, which are multiple backing sessions per month. Core is, which is backing sessions every month too. The next biggest is what they call passive, which is they've had like no other backings in the past year. And then finally is what they call casual, which is you just do backing sessions every few months. It's interesting that
and it's like in that order, where it's like the people who use it the most to the least, that seems like are backing in that order.
In my thing, yeah, because you go power, core, casual, passive, but mine seems to be power, core, passive, casual.
So you're getting those. Yeah, interesting. Huh. You're doing something right then. If you're right, getting those people that won't do it as frequently to join in.
Yeah, there's a bit of my return rate could be better, but
yeah.
So as I said, have newer people come in too. But also it's just harder because Facebook and Twitter and everything is not cooperating with campaigns at all anymore because they want you to pay them.
Yeah. So it's like I said, like I'm still getting some success with Twitter somehow. I think that's just honestly, I think I've just been lucky with folks like doing retweets and hitting the right people and stuff. But like Facebook, like paying for ads and all that, I think I'm done now. Like I was doing okay. The last campaign I just finished, I got zero buys from my ad. It was a 100% loss. So I think that's convinced me. Like I was always almost just breaking even, and I'm thinking I'm expanding my audience, so it's worthwhile. But now I'm losing money. So it's, and if you look at the self-publishing side, like novels and all that, like they think about those ads in a totally different fashion, where it's how much do you want to make? 3x, 4x what you're paying? Right? It's like if I could make 0x what I've paid, I'd be thrilled. Right? But I'm doing minus here. If that's how they're supposed to work based on talking to that group of people, then clearly it's not intended for this kind of tool.
And then Brandon Sanderson just forgive novels, like just comes in and blows everyone out of the water.
He's easy. He goes on YouTube. He says, "Hey, I have a new one on BackerKit now." The last one was BackerKit. I don't think he went Kickstarter.
Yeah,
even that one it did, and didn't do as well as Kickstarter. I'm pretty sure, but nonetheless, like he brought an audience to BackerKit. I'm always afraid to go there. A part of me wants to try it, but if I can't afford to do half of what I do on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So,
I don't have the audience yet to easily do that there or to Zoop.
Yeah, Zoop is more for folks, from what I understand, is more for folks that want to be totally hands off. So if you're comfortable with setting up campaigns and running your own BackerKit and doing your own fulfillment, you don't need them because they take 30%. You're already losing 10 with Kickstarter.
Like I have dealt with people with my Kickstarter in the past. I've done BackerKit fulfillment. People help me with that, and I pay them a flat fee.
Yeah, but exactly.
That's not like 30% of my.
Yeah, it's exactly. If you do a flat fee, I know that I have to squirrel this money away, like this X $100 just to do that. But yeah, with Zoop, if you have a so-so campaign and then they take 30% of that, right? That could be backbreaking.
Yeah.
Again,
and
depends on how much money.
And in my opinion, for Zoop, you need to be a bigger name to really succeed on Zoop.
And that seems to be the other thing. Even though they do all the management of the campaign for you, you're still responsible to bring people in, right? So if you don't have that draw to say, hey, I'm usually on Kickstarter, but now I'm on Zoop because I don't want to do the campaign myself, right? Like that, you have to, again, I totally get it. I could see myself using it in the future if I'm constantly launching stuff and I just don't have time to run another campaign. Absolutely. I think they have a market that makes a lot of sense. I just personally, I don't have the audience for it. Like you have to have a decent sized audience to that work.
And there are books on there by big names, which don't even see, which is mind boggling.
Yeah. It's kind of what you said, right? Like those books that are done by those like single creators or like a team, but it's big names that are on there that are drawing